Will have five-phase assembly elections between 12th October and 5th November. The counting of votes will take place on the 8th of November. Polls to the 243-seat assembly will be held on October 12, 16, 28, November 1 and 5. The term of the current assembly expires on November 29. The Cabinet on Wednesday hiked dearness allowance by 6% for central government employees and pensioners. The new DA will be 119% from 113% earlier and will benefit more than 1 crore central government employees. The DA hike will be effective from the 1st of July. As per the agreed formula, the DA rate increase is an average of the 12-month Consumer Price Index industrial workers from July 1, 2014 to June 30, 2015. Cabinet also cleared spectrum trading guidelines under which telecom operators will be able to sell radio waves to other service providers. In another major decision, Cabinet approved a new sovereign gold bond scheme as also a monetization scheme. Under the gold bond scheme, an individual can buy up to 500 grams worth of bonds per annum. Appropriate interest will be paid on it. Cabinet also allowed 100% FDI under automatic route and white-labelled ATMs and cleared policy to put up offshore wind farms. Government had decided not to hold a special session of Parliament because of political obstruction. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said Cabinet Committee had recommended to President Pranab Mukherjee that he prorogue the monsoon session of Parliament that he had kept alive since last month to allow for a consensus on the vital tax reform measure. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said India will have to continue to hold on to its ground of economic reforms to sail through the current turmoil in global economy. In an interaction with the news magazine, Finance Minister reiterated government will not be soft on black money. He was also confident that GST bill will be passed by Parliament as almost all parties are supporting it. A high-level delegation of Pakistani Rangers will hold DG-level talks with Border Security Force in Delhi. Ceasefire violations at the international border, sniper attacks on BSF personnel and infiltration will be some of the top issues on the agenda during the talks. A joint discussion record is to be signed on Saturday. Supreme Court has issued notice to Chief Secretaries of Karnataka, Mizoram, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir for not complying with its order on acid attack cases. The Apex Court granted 2 weeks to the top bureaucrats to explain why contempt proceedings should not be initiated against them. The court in the last hearing had asked all state governments to reply on the rehabilitation policy adopted by them for acid attack survivors. The centre will bring in more kinds of disabilities under the ambit of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Bill. The bill is likely to be introduced in the winter session of Parliament. Minister of State for Social Justice and Empowerment, Krishan Pal Gurjar, also said steps are being taken to get corporate social responsibility funds from private companies to execute schemes of the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities. Ministry of External Affairs has said that 13 of 20 Indians on board the 2 boats in Yemen are still alive, while 7 are not traceable. The MEA spokesperson Vikas Swarup said government is in constant touch with local authorities in Yemen. He said 2 boats carrying 20 Indians came under aerial attack in an area Al-Kokha near Hodeida port. Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott will accept 12,000 more refugees and vowed to launch airstrikes to hit ISIS targets in Syria. In addition, Australia announced humanitarian support to more than 240,000 Syrians and Iraqi people, which is expected to cost the country $44 million. In the Battle of Williams Sisters, it was Serena who came out on top in a tough 3-set match, 6-1, 1-6, 6-3, and continued her march to a calendar Grand Slam at the US Open. Serena entered the semi-finals of the women's singles. Unseeded Italian Roberta Vinci became the first woman through to the semi-finals of the US Open, outlasting Frenchwoman Kristina Mladenovic 6-3, 5-7, 6-4 on another sizzling hot day at Flushing Meadows. A high-octane clash of Indian tennis fans is on the cards. Rohan Bopanna has ensured a semi-final clash with veteran Leander Paes after the two won their respective mixed doubles matches on day 8 of the US Open. Indo-Swiss pair of Sania Mirza and Martina Hingis entered the semi-finals in the women's doubles at the US Open in New York after defeating their 9th-seed counterparts of Chinese Taipei. Novak Djokovic reached the US Open semi-finals for the 9th consecutive year, beating the 18th-seed Feliciano Lopez of Spain 6-1, 3-6, 6-3, 7-6. The defending champion Martin Cilic squandered 3 match points in the 4th set but came up strong in the 5th and beat Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga and advanced to the semi-finals of the US Open. Ace Indian shuttler Parupalli Kashyap advanced to the second round of the Super Series badminton tournament in Tokyo. Kashyap was handed a win by Takuma Udeya. Women's doubles pair of Jwala Gutta and Ashwini Ponnappa failed to cross the opening hurdle. India's spearhead Yogeshwar Dutt was forced to pull out of the Wrestling World Championships after being found unfit at the 11th hour. leaving the Wrestling Federation of India red-faced. Dutt suffered a knee injury some time back, but he had claimed that he got the required treatment and was fully fit to take part in the World Championship.